A friend of mine asked me the other day, I'm thinking about paying off my mortgage early. Should I do it? I asked him, why do you want to do that? He replied, this should help save on interest costs. Then I asked, what is your mortgage interest rate? 2.8%, he answered. So what do you think he should do? Some financial experts say never pay off your mortgage early, while others even advise against owning a house altogether. Many of these analyses are misleading because they lack adequate apple-to-apple comparisons or fail to consider various factors. In this video, I will show you a mathematical model and conduct an analysis to evaluate different options. To illustrate the financial outcomes of paying off a mortgage early, I will compare a 15-year loan versus a 30-year loan for buying a house, and then compare both scenarios to renting a house. Each will have different interest rates, rent amounts, and investment returns. The analysis will determine at the end of 30 years what your net worth will be for each of these scenarios and reveal which option makes the most sense. Let's get straight to the point. Suppose you are buying a house for $400,000. Your bank offers a 15-year fixed rate loan at 6.3%. That requires a 20% down payment or $80,000. The bank also offers an alternative 30-year fixed rate loan at 7% with the same down payment. In both cases, your loan amount is $320,000. Using the payment function in Excel, you can see that the monthly mortgage payment for the 15-year loan is $2,752, including interest and principal, compared to $2,129 for the 30-year loan. The interest goes to the bank as its profit, while the principal goes toward your equity in the house. Clearly, by choosing the longer-term loan, you end up paying much more in interest. In this case, your total payment of $766,000 is more than double the initial loan amount of $320,000. At first glance, it seems to make more sense to take the 15-year loan, which can save you more than $270,000 in interest. However, this comparison isn't straightforward when you consider the possibility of investing the difference between the payments in the S&P 500 index fund. To build a more realistic model, let's make some assumptions. Your annual savings after paying for non-housing related expenses is $50,000 after taxes. As a homeowner, you also pay certain annual costs. Property taxes of $4,000, home insurance of $1,200, and repair and renovation cost of $3,000. These expenses will rise at the annual inflation rate of 2%. Your salary will also increase by 2% per year, and the house value will appreciate at 2% annually, matching inflation. After 30 years, the house will be worth approximately $724,000. The estimated $3,000 annual maintenance cost is an average required to maintain the house in desirable condition, making it possible to sell the house at market value 30 years later. The historical S&P 500 average annual return of 10% will be used in this model. Let's first look at the 15-year loan option. At the end of year one, after paying the mortgage, property tax, insurance, and repairs, your net savings is $8,770. You invest this in an S&P 500 index fund. Including your $80,000 down payment, your total net worth after year one is $88,770. After salaries and housing expenses rise by 2% in year two, your net annual savings is $9,606. Meanwhile, your prior year's investment grows by 10%. Adding the new savings, your total investment account balance grows to $19,253. Each year, you continue reinvesting the annual savings, allowing it to compound. By the end of year 15, you've paid off your mortgage and accumulated roughly $430,000 in your investment account. Starting in year 16, you no longer have a mortgage, so your annual savings rise to roughly $56,000. This significantly boosts your investments. By the end of year 30, your investment grows to an impressive $3.8 million. Including the home equity of approximately $724,000, your total net worth is over $4.5 million. We now run through the model for the 30-year loan. The only difference is the mortgage payments, which are $7,482 lower than the 15-year loan per year. However, you must continue making payments for an additional 15 years. How will this affect your net worth? Interestingly, after 30 years, this option results in a net worth roughly $181,000 higher than the 15-year loan. What if you don't buy a house at all? Let's assume you rent the same house for $2,600 per month, with rent rising by 2% each year. In this case, you don't have to worry about maintenance, insurance, or property taxes, and you can invest your $80,000 down payment along with your annual savings in an S&P 500 index fund. Renting is simpler and more flexible, although you give up the freedom to make changes to your property and some degree of privacy. After 30 years, renting beats the 30-year loan option by $250,000, making it the best choice of the three. The 30-year loan outperforms the 15-year loan option by $181,000. The key determining factors in our analysis are mortgage interest rate, the investment rate of return, and the monthly rent. Any changes to these factors will affect the outcome. If I lower the 30-year loan rate to 4% and the 15-year loan rate to 3.6%, then the 30-year loan option becomes the clear winner, and renting is the worst option. However, if the monthly rent decreases to $2,000, renting becomes the best option. Lastly, if the S&P 500 rate of return is reduced to 8%, the 15-year loan option comes out on top. A few lessons from this exercise. Never underestimate the power of compound returns. Consistently invest your savings on a regular basis to grow your net worth exponentially. If you already decided to buy a house or already own one, don't pay it off early if the interest rate is 6% or lower. Paying a monthly rent of $2,000 or less will generally make more financial sense than owning a house, unless you can rent out a portion of the house to recover the mortgage cost. As for my friend, his 30-year mortgage rate is 2.8%, which is probably the best interest rate he will ever get on a home loan. My advice to him is never pay off the house early. I've put a link to the Excel model in the description below. Feel free to download it and then run your own numbers.